Hello, beautiful souls. Today's episode is so good. And before we jump in, I have some exciting news to share. If you've ever wondered where you're blocking money, this is for you. I've created a free quiz to diagnose your money wounds so you can heal them and unblock yourself to receive more money. Just go to moneywoundsquiz.com and answer 6 quick questions to get your insanely accurate and potent results. And if you're loving my vibe and want to work one-on-one to call in more feminine energy wealth, I would love to hear from you. You can shoot me a DM on social media or go to emilywilcox.com to learn more. Hello and welcome to the Em Makes Money show. I hope you're doing awesome. Man, I never thought I would be recording this episode today. I actually was supposed to be hosting 5 different women here at the house this weekend for a baby blessing. And as they say, we make plans and God laughs. And that seems to be what happened in this scenario, because at first it was like the friend from Oregon couldn't fly in. Then it was like one of the local friends from Orange County just was having a health challenge and felt like she couldn't make it. One friend kind of ghosted us about whether or not she was coming. And then our friend who is pregnant, who we were going to be doing the blessing with, sprained her ankle. So the whole thing just devolved and it created some unexpected space in my schedule, which I'm not mad about. So Jeff was planning on taking the kids up for a ski weekend so that, we would have the house to ourselves. And so I'm going to be joining in on that. But it also left a little space in my schedule for us to be chatting here now. And I want to go through my January year-end review. I don't know about you, but I felt like January just flew by in a blink. But when I actually sat back and looked at some of the highlights and lowlights, it definitely held a lot in one month. And I think January can be like a tricky month for us because we often put a lot of expectation on it. It's the beginning of the year. We might be setting new resolutions or really hoping to see a big energy shift. And if it doesn't happen, or if we don't hit our financial goal month 1, then it's easy to start renegotiating with ourselves or feeling disappointed about the year. And if you resonate with that, what I really want to say is, look, it was the first 31 days and there's like 334 days to go. It's okay. It really is okay. And there's going to be up months and down months, low months and high months in any rolling 12-month period. And we just have to zoom out, because when the snapshot looks too small, then we make meaning where there doesn't need to be meaning. So let me jump in to my January. From a stretchy perspective, we kind of came into January as a bit of a ragtag, sick crew family. Like we just were passing around this crud that was pretty relentless. It never got horribly bad, but it also just wouldn't go away. And so it felt like there was like a 10-day stretch where Jeff and I would feel fine during the day, and then we'd get like a sore throat at night and it would hurt to swallow and we wouldn't get a great night's sleep. And, those things, those little energy depleters are never fun, but we persevere. I also, from a stretchy perspective, I think I've mentioned this a couple times now, that I had entered a couple agency relationships and just was really having like a bad client experience. So with one of them, and I think I actually may record a whole episode on this because I feel like there's a lot to unpack, and I honestly kind of want to spill the tea because I think there could be some good learnings in there. But this company I reached out to and had said like, hey, I really don't think this is working. Like, can we work something out? Can I buy myself out of this agreement? Blah, blah, blah. Just never heard anything back. And in the meantime, I had updated my business credit card with my bank. So then when the next payment didn't go through, then I started getting like nasty grams from them via email, just immediately with legal threats. And it's like, wow, isn't that fascinating? That I wrote you a really heartfelt email with potential solutions and you didn't care to respond at all. But the moment the payment is declined, which can happen for so many reasons, if we just get a new card number, etc., And instead of just being polite and assuming that it's an oversight, your standard response includes threats of legal action. Like, ooh. So anyway, let me know. Let me know if you want me to spill the tea in a future episode on like naming names, who I worked with, and exactly breaking it all down for you. Other stretches. So I lost my voice the entire time that I was in Miami on a retreat. So that was a little bit of a challenge, and then came back and really wanted to share some of these big clarity moments that I had with Jeff, but also was like scared to tell him about some of those things because of the way that they just impact the commingling of our businesses and our working relationship. And since I didn't have a voice, I didn't tell him right away. And in that time, 2 key people at our agency gave their notice that they were going to be leaving. And so that made things like really challenging, particularly on Jeff, but it also made me feel like, oh crap, well, there goes what I was planning on talking about, which I'll get to in a moment. And then we also this month had some good friends of ours that are going through like a really significant challenge in their marriage and are navigating a separation. And it all kind of devolved quite suddenly. And we ended up having one of them staying with us. And that's still actually kind of an ongoing situation. So it might be like 2 more weeks before he moves out. And obviously, we're so happy to be a soft place to land for someone that's going through a crisis. And, you know, you hope you never find yourself in that situation. But obviously, if you do, you hope that you have friends or people that are willing to step up and, you know, give you a soft landing. But with that said, you know, we're all energetic creatures. And so adding new energy into the household, and particularly when it's someone who's moving through a lot of grief and sadness and is wanting to do some verbal processing of that, it, you know, just made it challenging. And it just felt like an extra energetic drain on the month. And at a time when, you know, Jeff felt like he was already kind of putting out some fires at the agency and needing to make some hiring decisions. And so the household has felt a little more stressful, a little more chaotic in January than our norm, because our norm is like that this is such a peaceful sanctuary. So what else? Other stretches. We had 2 more friends that we just love that moved to Hawaii. So I felt a little sad about that. Obviously, we've got more people to visit now in Oahu, but my preference, if I got a vote, would be like, no, stay here with us. It's so great to have friends that we feel so connected to with here locally. So, well, I also had to navigate a little bit of disappointment with a couple women who had really expressed significant interest in joining my Fruition Mastermind. And then I didn't hear from them before the enrollment deadline. And I actually like felt so sure, like it really felt like a yes. And so then for that to not happen felt disappointing. And interestingly, both of them ended up reaching out, and it was like somewhat of a communication snafu / you know, divinely guided, as it always is. So with one, her email response went into my junk folder, which I've never had that happen where someone replies to an email that I sent them and it goes into junk, like literally never. So I didn't find it until like weeks after the container opened. And then I reached out to her and she was like, you know what, honestly, it was divine protection. Like, I'm financially overextended right now, and I just really would love to join when it reopens. So in a way, it was nice because I could tell that actually my intuition was correct. Like it really was a yes, and it was a not right now, and that's okay. And then essentially the exact same thing for the other woman. So she was waiting for a financial piece to fall into place, and it hadn't yet, but she's like, it will most certainly happen when the container reopens for the second half of the year. And I'm like, such a yes. But I just share this because I think it doesn't get talked about enough. But like, you know, even in like leaned back feminine energy sales, where I very much want women to come in on their own volition. I really want their sacred yes. I want their regulated nervous system yes. And although I would never do anything manipulative or pushy, it doesn't mean that I don't feel disappointed when there's a woman who expresses interest, who I know would be such a perfect fit for a container, and then she doesn't join. And P.S., every other coach feels that way too. So they just don't talk about it. So here I am talking about it, being real with you guys. This is the way it is. And, we got to learn to navigate disappointment. That's a huge part of the human experience. So on to all of the celebrations for January. Oh my gosh. First of all, just like falling in love with TikTok. I never thought I would say those words. I never thought it was a channel that I would be on. I never was on it as a consumer, but I have fallen so hard for this channel. I love it so much. And I have gone viral, which is like so wild. And so, of course, it's been just really incredible to see the power of this channel and watch the views climb and the followers climb and people leaving comments. And it's just really, really fun. And I'm now at the point where my TikTok has surpassed the number of followers that I have on Instagram. And I've been working Instagram for 2 years, and like I am a new kid on the block with TikTok. So that's been super duper fun. And it's just like such a reminder to just follow those intuitive nudges and follow what feels fun and try new things. I've really been feeling my own power and cultivating pretty effortlessly some new beliefs around that, and just how much my energy leads. And even if I'm not showing up in places like all the time, meaning online, that it doesn't matter, because when I do show up, there's such a potency in my energy that people feel very magnetized, that they want to read and consume what I'm sharing, that they want to join my offers, that they want to be a part of everything that I'm doing. And it just feels so good to be so anchored into that belief. My content creation has also been feeling really good and really effortless in a way that I have not experienced before. And it's interesting because it's also been paired with a month where my schedule has felt much more full from the agency perspective. And so I just haven't had a time to overthink content or really plan out content or do anything super spectacular with content. But what I have done is just shown up in my potency and in my authenticity and with whatever feels real and whatever I have time to create. And it's really worked. It's really worked. So that's exciting. January has been full of all the kids' activities. All the activities. We got violin. Both kids are now in jujitsu, which is a 2-day-a-week commitment each. Faye is doing softball, and she's on the softball select team. So that's 2 practices in a game each week, or a practice in 2 games, depending on how it all shakes out. JJ is doing winter soccer. Faye is also doing basketball, and JJ is about to start t-ball. So we are like every weekday afternoon and multiple activities on each weekend day. And yes, it's really full, but I will tell you, Jeff and I love it. We love it. We signed up for it. We were intentional about it. We knew what we were getting into, and it's just been so fun. It's been so fun being in this season and really rolling up our sleeves and being super involved and hands-on with all the things that our kids are doing, using it as excuses to get outside, to spend more time at the park. And it's honestly been such a gift. Going to Miami for retreat, such a celebration and a stretch, like just in the most beautiful, beautiful way. There are 6 of us who have been in a mastermind together probably for 6 months now. And it was my first time meeting 3 of the women. And we got the most gorgeous penthouse in Hollywood, Florida, which is a Miami suburb. So we were up on the 41st floor, just wrap around incredible unobstructed ocean views, a private beach club that we could use. And it was such a special time. One of the women has been studying to become a shaman, and she led us through like just the most beautiful water blessing ritual. And we went out into the waters to greet the water spirits and did what really felt like kind of a baptism and just like a releasing of things that no longer serve. It was so beautiful. And as I had mentioned, I didn't have a voice. So that was an interesting challenge to navigate, but also, always so divinely guided, and just an opportunity to say like, okay, spirit. So I guess I'm meant to really just do more listening and let my energy lead and just be more in my presence. And that's okay. We can do that. In fact, yes, let's do that. I'm in. If you want me in that way, I'm in. And I ended up having just such a profound cracking open. And I really needed those women to be supporting me and helping me see what I couldn't see about my vision and the ways that I want to feel financially supported, the things that I want to let go of, the ways in which I want to show up more all in for this business. This coaching business is so incredibly important to me. It feels like my soul mission, like my life's work, and it's not always getting as much of the attention as I really would like it to get and as it should get. And so it's really asking for some rebalancing. And I couldn't see it until other people saw it and showed it to me. And I'm super grateful for that, because we all need those people in our lives that can reflect back to us and show us what we can't see on our own. So it really helped me gain clarity of vision on just going all in and what needs to change in order for that to happen, and really honoring my desire. And I think I was scared to really say it and really feel how much I wanted it, because I was scared that it wouldn't happen. And as much as I wanted to let go of some of the financial responsibility for the agency, it felt like that would be putting more on my husband's shoulders, and that might be creating conflict in a way that I didn't want to create and didn't want to participate in. Nevertheless, it's like the desire's there and you can't unsee it once you've seen it. And so I was super grateful for the opportunity to get that clarity. And I came home just feeling resolute, feeling lit up, and it all ended up unfolding in such a beautiful way. And I'd mentioned that I didn't talk to Jeff right away because I didn't have my voice, and I was also just sitting with it. And then one of my friends, Brianna, who was on the retreat, made an offer to all of us to do some energetic healing on our business. So I gave her the names of both of my businesses, and she did like a really special session on that. And I don't know if that helped move some energy or what exactly, but a week goes by and somehow I think I just mentioned to Jeff, like, I just really would love to go all in on my coaching business. And I believe like there's so much more financial potential, and there's so much more that I could be doing that I just can't right now because my schedule's not as freed up. And he was like, oh, I would love to support you in that. Like, yeah, let's make that happen. And it's also just a good reminder of leading with feminine desire. I wasn't like, I want to get out of Elevate and Elevate sucking all my time. I just shared what my desire was. And the divine masculine, through my husband, stepped up to say like, yes, how do we make that happen? Like, I want to be a part of making that happen. And so then he started talking to me about timelines and how we can do it, and how he's happy to start taking on the sales calls at the agency. And I just felt like so loved and supported in that moment. And it was such a reminder that, we don't have to rush these conversations. And when we let the energy lead and we just trust in our desires, doors open and things unfold in really beautiful and aligned ways. Okay. I'm also celebrating. If you are on YouTube, you can see this, but I got hair extensions in January, which is something I've really been wanting to try. And a friend of mine got them from this place that they use this special method, and she just loved them and was obsessed. And so I went and did it. And I'm not going to lie, I definitely had a solid 2 days of regret. Like, what have I done? They like weave them really tightly onto your scalp. So like my scalp really hurt and there was nothing I could do about it. I felt like I went way too long with them and was kind of freaking out about that. I felt like maybe it wasn't like sexy long hair, but it looked more like weird religious zealot long hair. Everyone else in my life was assuring me like, no, 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 they look good. But then I got used to it. And actually, after I washed them for the first time and then let them dry naturally, so they had a little more body and a little bit more wave to them, they didn't feel so long and they just felt a lot more like mine. And now I'm absolutely loving them. I've always felt like even when my outfits and my makeup are put together, that a lot of times my hair still looks a little wild because I just don't prioritize styling it. And I don't know if I even know how to style it super well, but the extensions have really changed the way that I feel about that. And it's like, it is kind of like a wild, long lion's mane, but like I freaking love it. So celebrating myself and my willingness to just try something new. On the topic of body, I'm also celebrating that my booty is getting bigger. And this one is so exciting because it has literally challenged and broken down every limiting belief I've ever had about my body. So I really thought that genetically I had like kind of a smaller, flatter butt and that nothing was going to change with that. And the fact that I did CrossFit very religiously for like 8 years, no, not 8 years, 6 years, maybe. Anyway, I'm getting caught up on the time. Maybe it was 7, who knows? But I did CrossFit and was like pretty darn good at it. You know, I could deadlift 240 pounds. I, could do butterfly kipping pull-ups. I could do handstand push-ups, you name it. And yet I still didn't have a booty. And what I've learned now through physical therapy, which has then carried over into Pilates and so many of the Pilates exercises, is that I just like actually didn't know how to properly recruit my glutes and how to isolate them and work them in isolation. So when I was doing CrossFit, I was like compensating with a lot of other body parts. But with Pilates, it's slower, it's more intentional, and you're just not going to get around all of these booty exercises. There's lots of bridging, lots of single leg stuff, and I freaking love it. And my booty is visibly bigger, and it is so exciting for me. I feel like it's just unlocked this whole new world of possibility that like, okay, well, if I believed that my butt couldn't grow and it grew, then like, what else do I believe that is false? And what other possibilities exist that I just haven't tapped into? And I'm not just talking body, but like everything. So super celebrating that. And on the note of Pilates, I'm loving it. I'm getting really good at it. I'm getting noticed by some of the instructors where they'll say like, oh, you can do more weight, or you should add this spring, or you're more advanced, which my ego is like absolutely loving. And it's just a testament to me and my discipline and, the regularity in which I practice. So it's been super fun. I also had my first client VIP day here at the house, which was like such a dream come true. This is such a sacred space. We love it so much and it feels so abundant. And to have a client here and enjoying it. And, we came up with several $1 million ideas for her before lunch, like legit. Those are not my words. Those are hers. And it just felt so fun and so effortless and reminded me again and again how much I love in-person experiences and how transformative they are. Side note, there are limited spots available for the 2 Rise retreats that are happening this year, April in Mexico and October in the Smoky Mountains. So go to emilywilcox.com/retreats if you want to experience that in-person transformation with me. Lastly, I got to see Abraham Hicks in person, which was so fun. So Esther Hicks, channeling Abraham, came to Los Angeles and did a 4-hour workshop. And it just like felt like such a gift to be in that energy. I was so like weepy, teary-eyed right from the get-go. Just so much gratitude flowing through me for the incredible gift of those teachings and how pivotal they have been in my life. So that probably will not be the last time I do it. And then, of course, when I shared my 7 top takeaways from seeing Abraham Hicks, that was the video that went viral on TikTok. It's now got like almost 51,000 views, and it's like brought in thousands of followers. So it just felt like a little gift from Abraham to me. Okay, let's talk about money for January. So the agency collected $69,690 cash. My coaching business collected $22,952 for a total of $92,642 cash. Both businesses are getting more and more profitable, which is exciting. We increased our profit margin 12% year over year at the agency. And my coaching business is running so lean and mean right now that it's like literally almost like 90% profit, which is unbelievable. Obviously, like when I do retreats and stuff, it's lower because there's more hard costs, but still, like even if we were to say that that ends up being like a 70% profit margin, it's still really incredible. So I just share that because obviously when we talk top line numbers, it doesn't necessarily equate to what's flowing into the bank account. So it's nice to see that growing and improving and feeling really healthy as well. As always, thank you so much for listening and tuning in. I love you all. I really appreciate your dedication to this show. You're sharing it with people who you think would benefit. You're liking, subscribing, and leaving comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's show. Before you go, I have something fun to share. Now, when you leave a review of the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube, take a quick screenshot and send it to hi@emilywilcox.com. You'll be entered into a drawing to win a free one-on-one Voxer coaching day with me, and you help the show reach more new listeners. Such a win-win. I also invite you to follow me on Instagram at mmakesmoney and to jump into my free Telegram community, The Money Club, which is linked in the show notes. Until next time, I'm sending you all the magic money vibes.